And unfortunately, as you can see, there nothing has happened. As stated before, there are actually 2 Bells of Awakening. Now, up there, you do get a Homeward Bone. However, I prefer to come down here because there's a new gesture for us to learn. And oh my gosh! Now again, if you're wondering why you can't interact with something, lower your shield.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Carim, the power. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
Well, what is it? Alright, so here's a really interesting gentleman, Oswald of Carim, and you actually don't get a talk option with him. I actually never noticed that until right this moment. You can request absolution. This means if you break a covenant, or if you kill a covenant leader, or I believe if you kill NPCs, you can get put on a list of the guilty. Doing this will actually cause you to have sinned, which one of the covenants in the game, which I've not talked about the covenants yet, one of the covenants in the game will hunt down sinners and kill them. So you can actually be invaded by a... actually, that's a really interesting aspect. I've never thought about that. You can be hunted down by... they're called the Dark Moon Covenant. So you can be hunted down by a Dark Moon, or you can be hunted down by an invader. And there are circumstances where you can get invaded by both, where both people are trying to kill you. And you can either be 1v2. It can kind of be a 3-player free-for-all, if I remember correctly. Although most of the time, they tend to work together. I've actually never seen them attack each other, so I don't know for a fact. But I would assume that they can interact and attack each other, because the one is trying to kill sinners, and if they're invading you, that makes them sinners. So, you can also abandon a covenant here, and if I remember correctly from the videos I've watched, I believe that if you request absolution from a covenant, or pardon me, abandoning a covenant from Oswald, I believe you actually get no sin. Versus if you go through other means, you actually can collect sin. But here he does sell some items. He sells some purging stones. I've never found this to be a problem. Maybe in New Game Plus this becomes a problem, but I've never had a problem. Check list of the guilty. You can buy this book and it will show you online usernames of people who were guilty. I don't know why they put this feature in the book, or in the game, because I don't think you can choose somebody to invade. I've never noticed that. He does sell Homeward Bones. I should probably buy a bunch because I only have 3 left, although I'm not gonna. Indictment, I'm a huge fan of these, especially if you're a new player to the game. I do encourage you to get, like, I'm going to say 20. That's going to be 4,000 souls, so yes, you might have to farm up for a bit. But this means if somebody invades you and, let's say, is using an unfair weapon, you could indict or indict them, I guess? Indict? I think indict. I don't want to sound stupid, but I already do because I'm sitting here debating it on microphone. You can indict somebody, and then they're more likely to get invaded by the Dark Moon Covenant, although Oswald's not part of the Dark Moon Covenant. He also sells a miracle called Karmic Justice. This can be an amazing miracle to use. I'm not a big fan of it, although I just heard a very, very, very interesting way to activate it, which I'll explain when I get my next shield. I know the next shield that I want to get, and that shield will be, I can explain Karmic Justice then, so keep this in mind. It's an auto attack, or it's an auto counter versus damage. It does say heavy damage, and there's a way that I can manipulate that phrasing to work out in my favor. I will explain that. He also sells Velka's Talisman, and this can be a very powerful item, because, again, talismans allow you to cast miracles. Now, with that being said, this one has an A rating not in faith, but in magic. And in terms of requirements, it requires 16 magic to wield, not faith. Now, for any of you wondering why you might want to do this, a couple reasons. You could be building a dual caster, both using faith and magic. Or you could be building a tricaster where you're doing pyromancies, miracles, and spells all at the same time, or not at the same time, but like in tandem with one another. Um, so it could be good for a hybrid build, or let's say you want to be able to cast miracles based upon your magical power, or like let's say there's the heal spell that you want to cast. This will allow you to cast it with a magic adjustment equal to your magic. So if you're building a sorcerer and you don't see the point in having that miracle spell for heal, this talisman can allow you to cast that heal spell with the amplified bonus of your magic stat. So there's huge reasons behind actually having that. I'm not going to waste souls on it at the moment. Last but not least, he sells some very interesting rings. Ring of Sacrifice. I don't know why I don't have one. I should have one. I must have missed it. I'll collect that on my way back. He also sells the Poison Bite ring, which could be great if you're a brand new player to the Soul series. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this one if you're brand new. I wouldn't necessarily say farm for it, but maybe if you did what I did and you're doing that farming circuit and putting down your soul sign for the gargoyles and getting summoned into that gargoyle fight, or helping out other players in the area, 15,000 souls is 3 multiplayer sessions. 3 successful multiplayer sessions. Every time you kill the gargoyle, you'll get 5,000 souls if you're not the host. If you're the host, I believe you get 10,000. But yeah. I don't know, you can rewatch my video as well, because there it will show how much the host gets, and any phantom besides the host gets half of that. So, I would highly recommend the Poison Bite ring. I'm not going to buy it because I don't really care about poison.
Thou art welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
Also, I love his outfit, and he has a very specific sword, which is probably what I'm going to play with. Maybe not his outfit. There is a new outfit that I really like in the DLC. Actually, there's like 3 new outfits I really like in the DLC. And I pretty much know what I want to play with. The problem is I won't get it for a very long time. So bear with me while I swap through weapons. Maybe I can showcase some weapons. Another cute little feature that I have not mentioned yet is that if you have beaten the boss for an area like we just did, you don't have to be worried about being invaded in that area ever again. As long as your boss is dead, you cannot be invaded in that area. There has to be a demon for you to fight in order for you to be invaded. That also goes for summoning. You'll notice that there's no more summon signs. Well, that was another thing I wanted to cover. There's no summon signs here. Normally, this is the hot spot if you want to get summoned for the gargoyles. It's closest to that bonfire. A lot of players either coming from that direction or from here will see it. If you really want the perfect location, you could put your soul sign down here in the middle of this room. The reason I'm not a fan of that is that, 1, the spellcaster's up there. Number 2, the big knight, I forget what they're called. I should know. I've been watching so many videos, I should know this. But the big knight's there, and for somebody who's brand new to the game, if they're summoning you, that might either get them killed, or you might get summoned in the middle of a fight, and that's not good. I prefer somewhere safe, so over there. However, if you do put it here, anybody coming from that direction, or the elevators will see you. So if they haven't killed their gargoyles yet, you're more likely to be summoned. That's actually, this video has gone on really long for me ranting. Stay tuned till next time, and I'm going to be picking up some odd ends. It's not going to be a grinding episode, but it's going to go around collecting things. I'm not going to do a whole lot of progress. So, stay tuned for that, and until then, ta-ta. Oh, wait, jeez. What am I doing? Ta-ta.